Welcome to our premier challenge, gym challenge here at Psycho Turtle Collectibles in Pico Rivera, California. The Dennis and Pikachu Day. I'm Dennis, that's Pikachu. We're about to get into round number 1 of Swiss here. We have a full weekend here at Psycho Turtle. Premier challenge today, mid-season showdown tomorrow. About to get underway for this premier challenge. We have an interesting one to start things off. We have Shray, Chakraborty, and Benjamin Nguyen. Shray with the Chiyu, Fluttermane, Ogerpon, Wellspring, the Tornadus Incarnate, the Glamora, and the Urshifu Single Strike. Benjamin with Rillaboom, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Furgiraffe, Incineroar, Tornadus Incarnate, and Fluttermane. Got a little bit of the Weather Wars going on here. Both Tornaduses have their own weather setting. The one on Benjamin's side with the Rain Dance to support the Shifu Rapid Strike, and the one on Shray's side with the Sunny Day to support Chiyu, as well as Fluttermane. This is our first one back from Charlotte. Some interesting meta developments at Charlotte. Of course, the Ogerpon Hearthflame getting some of the top performances, even though the Wellspring Mask was the more popular one over the event as a whole. Seeing that Wellspring Mask here. I've seen a lot of Wellspring Mask on the team sheets today. Probably quite a bit that we will see today. Not a lot of Hearthflame on the team sheets as I saw earlier. In any case, we're getting underway for round number 1. See what the leads are for each of these players. Obviously the Tornadus is a nice part of that lead duo, both with Taunt, both speed tied, so we will see if that will end up breaking. And there we go, it's Tornadus and Fluttermane on Benjamin's side, and Glamora and Tornadus on Shray's side. I've not seen a lot of the Glamora here. It's Meteor Beam with Power Herb, as well as Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, and Spiky Shield. Toxic Debris, of course. Terra Grass. Terra Grass to swap some of those weaknesses. Turn that 4 times weakness to ground to a 1-time resistance, or a half resistance, you get what I'm saying. See what the decision is. We've seen a lot in Regulation D and E of Tornaduses standing there and looking at each other, and it becomes very relevant what those Tornaduses do when they stand there and look at each other. Question is, what will happen here? So they do have a couple of differences. Benjamin's Tornadus is Terra Dark with Covert Cloak, meaning that it's immune to a Prankster Taunt. We'll get the Tailwind off first on Benjamin's side. Shray's will as well, so both get their Tailwinds off for free here. That means that Benjamin's Fluttermane's faster, gets the Shadow Ball off into the Glamora. Big damage, but not going to be enough for a knockout. Meteor Beam will activate with that Power Herb, get that +1 special attack. See how much this does, and to what. There it goes into the Fluttermane. Ooh, not going to be enough. The Fluttermane barely going to take that hit. It is not Focus Sash or anything, just barely able to take it. It is a Choice Specs Fluttermane, so it is locked into that Shadow Ball. It will be faster than the Glamora now. It's going to swap out regardless. Incineroar will come in. Not going to do much against these 2 special attackers, at least inherently, with the Intimidate. Next move is the Glamora Protect. And the Bleak Wind Storm will come out from Benjamin. And the Tornado is going to do just a touch of damage there. In either direction with the Bleak Wind Storm. Not going to do a whole lot there. Going to take a brief moment for player investigation, it looks like. But in any case, we're going to continue this battle. Alright, Incineroar and Tornadus with a little bit of chip on them. Glamora still standing with the Protect there. Tornadus not going to take a little bit of damage with that solo Bleak Wind Storm, but now Bleak Wind Storm once again coming out first from Benjamin. Going to take out the Glamora, not going to take out the... not going to take out the Tornadus. Bleak Wind misses the Incineroar, hits the Tornadus, not going to do enough to knock it out, and the Incineroar should... No, it's just going to parting shot out of there. going to get that pivot now. Interesting decision there. It'll mean that if there are any physical attackers in the back, which there inherently have to be, well, don't inherently have to be physical attackers in the back, I suppose, for Shray, but I believe there are. But in any case, the Fluttermane will come back out now. And is 2 physical attackers in the back. The Urshifu, probably the preferred pick here because it doesn't care that much about being intimidated. It cares a little bit, certainly especially with the Incineroar matchup into the single strike Urshifu. It is Focus Sash. We'll be able to take 1 hit here. Also have the Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is a pretty clean option into Fluttermane if you expect it not to switch out. And it does just switch out. Incineroar will come back in, so it'll be able to cycle the Intimidate just a little bit. See how this Tornado Speed tie goes again. I believe Benjamin's won it each time so far. And the Sucker Punch actually targeting the Tornadus. A nice call there, able to knock out the Tornadus. Not sure how many turns of Tailwind we have left, but it might be a Tailwind advantage for Shray, actually. And just a tiny bit of damage to the Incineroar, its safety goggles. And yeah, the Tailwinds peter out. So Shray will have the opportunity to put up a Tailwind this turn and keep that speed advantage for the rest of the battle. Could be really huge. At the same time, the Incineroar does have the option to Fake Out if the Terastal is not used here to get the Tailwind off, which it just might be. And there's the Terastal, as we saw locked in. It's Terra Ghost on the Tornadus. That's why you bring it, to avoid the Fake Out. We'll get the Tailwind up for sure, 100%. And it means that Urshifu Detect. Worst thing that can happen to Shray this turn is Tornadus goes down after getting the... going to be a Fake Out into the Urshifu. I like that choice, regardless. Tornadus gets that Tailwind up and is now going to be taken down by the Dazzling Gleam. So now that means that Shray will be down to his final 2 Pokemon. Benjamin still with 1 more in the back that I believe we haven't seen yet. Seen the Incineroar and we've seen the Tornadus go down, we've seen the Incineroar and the Fluttermane cycle a little bit. Haven't seen that in the back there. But we'll see what the choice is here. Of course, there is a chance to cycle if you are Benjamin. Try to get into cycle on Intimidate there. Depends on what's in the back here and how well whatever that is can tank whatever is remaining. It's going to be Fluttermane swapping out. Maintain that Fluttermane just a little bit more. Would have been an easy target for Sucker Punch. The Rillaboom coming in. That Grassy Surge up. A little bit of that recovery. We'll see the Terastal finally used by Benjamin. It's got to be on the Incineroar. Terra Grass means it will no longer have a resistance to the Urshifu Single Strike. But it does mean it will resist an Ivy Cudgel. Going to be hit by the close combat. It will not be weak to that now. So Urshifu with minus attack, minus defense, and minus special defense. The Ivy Cudgel not going to go into the Incineroar. Instead will go into the Rillaboom. Hurting shot onto Ogerpon. And now these are some pretty low stats for Shray's side. Certainly not impossible for Shray to turn this around, especially with the speed advantage. I'd imagine it's a pretty safe move to just launch just an attack into the Fluttermane slot. Anything should take it down out of these 2 Pokemon now. It'll take a while to get rid of this Rillaboom though, and that could be dangerous. But I think if you're Shray, you have to at least be conscious of the turns you have remaining with your Tailwind, as well as how many times Incineroar can cycle in and out. You don't want to let too much of your attack drop, even with Wicked Blow. Even if Wicked Blow is your win condition, We don't know exactly how much Wicked Blow does to this Rillaboom. It is a Salt Vest. Pretty high natural defense stat. Reasonably high natural defense stat. See the Fake Out of Rillaboom, so that won't do anything. Incineroar has access to the Fake Out now. Could be an option for Benjamin to try to focus down the Urshifu. Could then be a reason to use that Follow Me. The Follow Me does not go ahead of the Fake Out. Possibly, something, I wasn't entirely sure of, to be totally honest. Nice little chunk to Ogerpon, Urshifu with the flinch, and nothing too catastrophic to either side that turn. Certainly a bit of damage launched onto Shray's Pokemon, but nothing too bad. You do wonder, ooh, when the Tailwind peters out, that could be big if Fluttermane is able to get back in here. Because that Fluttermane will certainly be able to outspeed these Pokemon now outside of Tailwind, and that's the problem I thought Shray might have had, is that this was taking too long and playing a little bit too much into Benjamin's hands here. If you've got the Tailwind up, you've got to be a little more aggressive. Follow Me comes through once again from Ogerpon. Draw away whatever attacks. Wicked Blow. Going to finish off the Incineroar. No more dropped stats. And Incineroar will fall. Both Terrastles used pretty defensively for each of these sides. Not a ton of value out of Shray's. Certainly, ooh, huge Wood Hammer there. Nice call from Benjamin to take down the Ogerpon, and now, ooh, not enough healing on the grassy terrain to pull that Urshifu back to the Focus Sash. I think at this point you do have to... Yeah, this is not a terrible spot for Shray to be in. You can detect to get the Focus Sash back from the grassy terrain. It'll be the last turn of grassy terrain. Doesn't really matter what either of these Pokemon do. Not really anything they can do. It also means it'll weaken the damage that Rillaboom will do. I think the easy answer is to Sucker Punch into the Fluttermane. Make sure that it cannot do any more damage to you. And then just start launching Wicked Blows. And hope. It'll certainly be a question of how much damage does one Wicked Blow do versus two Wood Hammers. I think two Wood Hammers will beat one Wicked Blow. But we will certainly find out. Wood Hammer does have that recoil effect. Focus Sash back up. Wood Hammer. Going to do not enough to break the Focus Sash, but pretty darn close. Basically enough. Hold your breath, everybody. Wicked Blow. Can it do it? No! Oh, how much HP was that for Benjamin? Basically 0. And by the skin of his teeth, Benjamin Nguyen wins game number 1. Wow. The Rillaboom, that must have been single-digit HP remaining on that Rillaboom after that Wicked Blow. That decided everything. Take a brief moment here to check team sheets for a moment. If you were paying attention, you would know what I was talking about. In any case, hello, it's me again, me and Pikachu, and Togekiss. I have Togekiss here today with us. In any case, that game number 1 was really interesting. I think even though we saw two Tornadoes get those Tailwinds set up, it was very different styles of the Tornadoes in terms of their item and general role. This was a very anti-Tornadus from Benjamin with the Terra Dark that stops the Prankster, as well as the Covert Cloak. Just overall, it's on Shray's side, it was Rocky Helmet, so it's able to be a little bit more anti-Urshifu Rapid Strike. These are some, I would say, fairly Regulation E teams. Of course, there's an Incineroar, but apart from that, it's the kind of thing you would tend to see a little bit more often back in the day of Regulation E, you know, 2 months ago. But in any case, if we're getting into, looks like we're going to get into game number 2, perhaps. I'll wait on the judge's call. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna go to break. We'll see you in round number 2.